Right, got an iPhone 6. Needs a new battery. Apparently it's had a new battery fitted. But it just ran out. Crap battery, apparently. You couldn't even charge it. The battery was that dead. I managed to power it up, put some juice in the battery, got it charging. I've got it for 100% charge. It's got no SIM card in it. Left it on standby, and it dropped down to 75% in 6 hours. So clearly the battery's knackered. So first of all, it's not as hard as it looks. First of all, right at the very bottom, you've got two screws. They're pentalobe screws. So you've got to remove them first. Right, so I'll try and do it because I'm cack-handed. So you take these screws out. And what you're going to do, you're going to... Oh, not going out fair enough. I'm sorry if you can hear me heavy breathing or whatever, but I've got a bit of a cold. I've got this mat here. So we put the screws out on here. The really important thing with an iPhone is most of the screws inside it are all different sizes to make sure you get the right screw going in the right hole. Otherwise you're going to be buggered. If you've never done this before, you can buy these online. The little magnetic screw mats, and you can place all the screws on there. It even tells you where everything goes. They're about £5. As I've done this a few times, and it's only a couple of screws. Well, it's a couple, I don't know, 10. Two paint loops out. And then you need a suction cup. Put it as close to the home button. These screws, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to organise all the screws on here. So that, I'll show you. So get a suction cup. Put it as close to the home button as you can. If the screen is smashed up, obviously it's going to be a little bit harder to get out. I suggest putting, I don't know, some sort of temporary screen protector on it. What you got to do is lift up. This has been opened a few times, so it's going to be a lot easier. Lift up. And then go down the sides. And just carefully, this is called an eye sesame. You can pick these up for about £5 off the internet. Like I say, I will try and link the tools in the description. Go down both sides, and there we go. Right, and the phone pops up. First thing you want to do, always, this is a golden rule. I'll zoom it out. My camera might fall over. Hang on, let me adjust. Give me 1 second. Under here, take this plate off first, right? It gets you to the battery connector. You need to disconnect the battery all the time before you do anything, because if you mess up, it's running live on the board. Again, 2 screws. Now everything's different size from now. So I'm going to pop these 2 screws out. Pop them down. Take that little metal plate off. You can use tweezers. I've got some tweezers here. Don't use my fingers. I've done this so many times. Right. I'll try and zoom in without knocking my camera over. This little thing here, that's your battery. Plastic pry tool. You can pick these. I bought about 50 of them from China for about £2. Just carefully, just knock the battery up and just move it out of the way. That's the phone dead now. Next thing you need to do, the suction cup's falling off. Next thing you need to do, I'm trying to adjust the light so you can see. Sorry, I don't want to be blinded. Let's see if I can work it out. There's 5 screws here, and they're all different sizes. I hope you can see it. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's always the longest, but you've got to work it out. If you do, it's an easy job. So what I'm going to do now is pop these 5 screws out. It's just a plate that you'll see. pop them onto a mat. This screwdriver is a 000 Phillips, but quite often they give you little shitty kits that come with it, with your battery. If you've not got any tools, it's probably the best way. Look on eBay and find one. Read the reviews first. Right, I'm just going to show you my screw mat. So what I've done, 5 screws, so, and the plates there, and then, okay, the battery plates there, the pentalobe screws are there, so move that out of the way. Next thing, right, you've got 4, like, they call them Lego connectors. Right, plastic pry tool, don't use anything metal, and just gently, just click on the edge, and just click them all up. So that's me gently, and that will release the screen. You see the connectors there. Right, now the battery. To remove the battery, this thing here is called a tantalum engine, and basically it's a vibrator of the phone. But as it's only held in with 2 screws, we're just going to take it out of the way to make it easier to remove the battery. I think these 2 screws are the same, actually the same size. Tweezers. Right, do you know what? Whoever's fitted this battery in the past, it seems to be stuck to again screw mat. Set it all out. There's no more screws after this, so it's not complicated. That's just put it somewhere safe. Don't put your beer can next to it like I do and knock it all over. Right, to move the battery. Right, looks like someone's already had a go at this and not done a very good job. There's normally 2 black tabs here. This one seems like it. 2 black tabs. And you peel them up. And they're long, stretchy pads that you pull. You just pull them gently, and then just make a big, long, stretchy sound. And just be really gentle with it, because the last thing, there's normally another one here. I don't know where it is. Maybe there's only one in here, because I haven't done this. And put it really gently and makes and it gets about 2 foot long. Keep your finger on the battery. I actually only got one there, you can feel. Keep your finger on the battery, because it'll fly off with you. What I do, is I isoprate alcohol. Right, it's called, in America I think they call it rubbing alcohol. And it's just isoprate propane. I always run it down the side of the battery. If you haven't got any, and all it does, it softens the glue up. If you haven't got any, just pull these tabs and be really gentle. So now, I'm trying to do it because it turns it to glue now. So look, that's going to snap. Sometimes the snapping is the last thing you want. But putting the alcohol on it softens the glue. I've got my finger on the battery. Just pull it slowly, pull it slowly. There's normally 2 of these on the battery. I'll show you when I put a new battery in. That's the noise you normally get. Big, long, stringy bit. The battery should come out. Oh, there is another one under it. Oh, look, there was. Because of the alcohol, it just lifted it easy. So, I'll just pull it away. See, that's the sort. If that snapped under the battery, you'd have ended up trying to pry the battery out. And obviously you don't want to be prying a lithium battery, especially if it's charged. Because, yeah, you could end up with a fire. It's not happened to me yet, but... Right, so there's your battery. Right, on a battery, normally when you get them brand new, and I'll try and show you. The battery goes in, see, and you notice how... I'll try and zoom in. Just 1 second. Put the lid on the alcohol, the last thing you want is a fire. You want the battery to sit so the connector just plugs straight in. So on a battery, normally you get a new battery, and there you go. See this shape it's sort of got. Right, so iPhone 6 battery, as it says on the tin. They normally come, obviously, they come with a little plastic sleeve on. Just get rid of all that rubbish. And you see the battery connector, sorry, it's going to go downhill from here, because I've had a couple of beers. The battery connector's not very well shaped. I find using one of these screwdrivers, I'm trying to put it, and let me zoom out and make it easier. Because it's not got this shape. Where's your battery? Oh, I've lost it. Your battery, see, it's sort of shaped. And this one's all over the place. I find if you hold the end of your screwdriver or whatever, you've got to shape the battery and then press it into the not into the battery, and just shape it round. I'll do it this way, it's easier. And just bend it over, and then put on the back of it, press on it, and just bend it over again. You've basically got to get that shape. It's like a little U shape. I'll try and show you another way. So I'm just going to lay it on the phone. So I've laid it on the phone. And it looks like it's pretty much gonna plug in. It just makes your life easier. Right, next thing. There's a little trick about it. The battery glue strips. If you haven't got any, you could just use some double-sided tape. If you do it at home, a hobbyist, and you're just doing a home thing. But quite often you get a battery, you can get these. I buy these from China. I get like 100 of them for about £2. I find there's a little trick with these. Sometimes you get them because they're like glue and they just stretch everywhere. So what I find, pink side first. So if you want to pull the pink side off, what I recommend, I'm going to move out of the way. I'll zoom out and show you. How do I zoom out? There we go. I'm doing this on iPhone 7. Get the pink thing and rip it up quick, because it might not work. It's not going to work actually, because otherwise they come up with it. It didn't. Oh, it's gone the wrong way. I'm gonna. I'll do it. I'll get another one because I want to do this properly. I could stick it in the actual case and then put the battery on it. Actually, I pulled. No, that's right. Hang on, I'm just confusing myself. No, that's right. I meant to pull the blue side first. No, that's wrong. Hang on, I'm confusing myself. It doesn't matter, but yeah, actually, I've got it right. So what came off bit first? One of the sides came off anyway. So I'm going to stick this, turn the battery upside down. I'll move over it, and then stick that so the top edge is just there, right? You can't see. This is the battery that's upside down. I'm going to stick that there. Rub it. Right, now I'm going to put the battery in the phone, obviously. Just rub it really hard because you've got to peel it off. Look, see, sometimes it pulls it away. I'll zoom out because you don't need, it's not micro soldering. So what we're going to do now is pull this back, pull that off. I'm going to lay it. What you got to do, because obviously you know where the battery connector is. Try and spin it round. I'll try and spin it round so you can see. So I'm going to put this in roughly. I just want to quite often just drop it. Well, you do quite often. Just drop it roughly. As you can see, it's more or less, the battery's more or less lined up. I'll rub the battery down, just to stick it. I've put the battery on it. Oh no, I haven't actually. Pull these little blue tabs off. It'll come off. Hook it with a pair of tweezers. They're proper stuck, aren't they? They do just peel off like that, like so. You didn't even say. I'll make sure it's in shot and just stick that. That's just in case you ever need to remove the battery. You've got the tab again. And normally, if you've got, you normally just pull them off. There you go. Just. Pull it over and just stick it down. That way, next time, like I say, you want to replace the battery. That's it basically. Now it's just reverse order. I'm going to put 10 to lope engine back in. Pop the screws in. I'll just whiz through this actually. I've lost a screwdriver. I drop them everywhere when I'm doing this sort of stuff. Go into my mat, picking the screws off in the right order. Put this back in. I hope it's in shot. Right now it's just a matter of putting the screen back on. I do warn you, these Lego connectors, just take your time. When I first started fixing phones, I could spend 10 minutes trying to plug these little buggers in. But just take your time. You feel them go into place and they'll make a click. I might be sitting here for 5 minutes. I might embarrass myself. Let's hold the screen. I didn't feel that click in, to be honest. I did, but I'm going to do it again. I'm sorry if my hand gets in the way, but... Did you hear that click? And just work through them. If you put your phone together and you've got lines down the screen, that's click. The first two connectors is the digitizer and the LCD. So these two are home button and front camera and all that. So you could put it together and the screen's all messed up. Don't panic, just reverse yourself and refit it. Just take your time. So like these connectors, that one clicked, that one clicked. What I'm going to do now, before I put all the screws back in, I'm going to connect the battery. I think that's it. And then power the phone up, and just to make sure that it does work. Right, so we've got Apple logo. Let's sit here. I'm going to put some plastic under. To make sure it's all working before you start putting it together. It's an iPhone 6, it'll probably take an 8. I might speed this bit out and take an 8 to power up. I'm just going to have a slurp of Foster's. Right, passcode for this. 220122. So the touch is all working. Grab an icon and just move it around. All the touch is working, yes. You could go into it, click it, home button's working. Just make sure everything's working. Power, yeah, everything's good. If that's all good, if everything's good, you know, test the camera and all that. Power it down. Lift it back up. And just put all your screws back. So again, I've got my screw mat there. With all the screws laid out in the right place. So all I'm going to do, that top bracket, I'm going to transfer it. If for some reason you do cock up these screws, this long one, it's always, you can tell on the plate, it's sort of got raised. It always goes, once you've done it once, it can be quite daunting the first time you do one of these, but they're really quite easy. And like I say, if you power it up and the screen's all messed up, don't panic. Just remove the screen, disconnecting the battery of course first, and then yeah, I'm just hoping you can. I've got to zoom out a bit. This is amateurish, but this is like, yeah, it's an amateur doing it. Put these screws back in. Yeah, sometimes these screws will just be a pain in the ass. Magnetic. Get this long one in first. I don't tighten it fully up. It's pointless me zooming in because you won't. And just pick your screws off. The magnetic screwdriver is always better. Just to magnetise your screwdriver. And the other thing, don't force the screw if it doesn't want to go in. Just this is it now. This is one of these. If you don't want to go in, or you're having problems with it, just leave it and do another screw. Comes with practice. So what am I doing here? Couple in. Oops, not two. I've put two in. I'm working my way. It doesn't really matter what order you put in, but I might speed past this, so the screw. If the screw sticks to the magnet and sometimes the screw doesn't go on properly, what I tend to do is just drop the screw. Can you see it? This is where it is actually. You can't see it in this. There's the screw. And just try and pick it up again. And sometimes it just lands right on the screwdriver. It's just one of them things. It just comes with practice. Oh, it's not going in. It's been a pain in the ass. But I'm just doing this blind, like I say, I'm just doing this. Ah, I'm showing you as it is raw, just what you'll come across. I could be 10 minutes doing this now. There we go, that one's in. Put the middle one in last. It doesn't matter what order you do it in. what I'm going to do is just tighten all these screws up now. Just when you tighten them, these screws here, when you tighten them, just do it gently. Don't screw it through the board. Just give them a gentle pinch. Enough so that if the phone gets knocked around and vibrated, they're not going to fall out. Now this plate, the battery plate, put that on right. Now this can be a little pain in the ass as well. I just drop the plate on. This is a speaker and it's got a big magnet in it. So I always recommend going for this screw off first. And sometimes you just got to like get to it before the magnet gets to it. So try and show you. See what I mean? It just sticks to it. Yeah. Ah. This is the blind leading the blind here. But get that screw in, turn it a little bit, so it's just pinch tight, because that screws that one even more magnetised. It'll just keep picking up the plate. Put it in. Tighten it up. Sorry, my hand's in the way. So basically tighten them two screws up. Right, and what I'm going to do, push the top edge of where the phone's lifted, push the top edge under, and then just gently, just click around. Just click it all around, click the screen in. And zoom out. You've got your two pentalobes at the bottom, but before I put them in, I'm just going to power the phone up. So I don't want to take them out. Phone powers up. You see that? I'm sure it's going to work. If you don't know the passcode, you're doing it for a mate. But the batteries you can pick up. You can pick up on the internet for £5 or £6. If you want to spend a couple of quid, just cancel that. I'm just going to go emergency and just go. Let's go for all the buttons. Yeah, it's all good. Cancel it off. So yeah, that's basically it. We'll pop these two screws in. When you put them in as well, penelope screwdriver. The amount of phones I repair. So, these penelope screws, the amount of phones I get with these screws missing. I bought 100 of them from China. Press the screen down when you do it, just so it just holds it tight. I bought 100 of them from China, and I think I paid £1.20. If you tried to send an envelope to China with nothing in it, it cost you about £5. It's ridiculous. Put the screws in. Bob's your uncle. Now it's powered up. I do know the passcode. I've got it written down here. 220122. Phone I'm not going to go through all the jobby. That battery's come 58% charged. Right, another thing. Cough. Sorry, back of a cold. Charge your phone up. When you charge it up, charge it to 100%. And if you can, just leave it on charge overnight. And then the first 3 or 4 charges, run it right down if you can. Not flat, but down to about 10%. And then do that for the first 3 or 4 charges, and actually it calibrates the battery. It just extends the I'm sure you might be able to work out what I mean, but yeah, there you go. It's took me 29 minutes. I could have done this in like 5 minutes. But yeah, hopefully it helps you. Cheers.